Well, thank you, Peter, Source and the group for this event. Community projects, with or without the community. There are community projects out there that I'm sure don't feel like they're involved in the community and vice versa. And so I'm going to set the scene. 2000 or 2010, government put out a note, public concerns over the acceptability of incinerators at the time. If you read that, it's as true today as it was 10 years ago. The solution 10 years ago was for people to have more say, bigger consultation and wider debate. So I started researching this and thought, as part of the industry, one of the things that the problem is the industry. We haven't followed the output of research 10 years ago. So the picture 10 years ago is quite simple. It was a bag and dump philosophy. We were moving to a technology enterprise initiative scheme which involved around following other countries, but our waste was behind, our companies were behind. The picture today is still very similar. We are developing faster than new technologies, but we have failed to follow the public engagement strategies to allow these to come along. So this is a picture of Peterborough, our plant. It's the largest consented site in the UK, 650,000 tonnes. It has a lot of the firsts in it. One of the firsts is 55 people speaking in favour of the project and 2 against. Yeah, remarkable. But how did we do that? We did that by engaging. So industry hasn't done its part. Industry will blame planning, and planners have a big issue or role to play. Not enough of them are educated, and where does an infrastructure project sit when it is renewables, when it is waste, when it is carbon reduction? There isn't a department that manages that, there's individuals. National and local government, Section 36 application or local planning application. Do they discuss it? Do they work separately? It does depend on your authority. Quangos. These are bodies that like to issue new reports every 2 years that nobody can make an action on until they've reviewed that report. So there is government role and it is being sorted. Planning policy statements, I think, are excellent individually. But again, where's the hierarchy? Does PPS 1 override PPS 10 where the benefits are there? But all of these will be here. These policies, these issues will be there regardless of the government. So actually, industry just has to deal with them. Public and their understanding is a constant. And we have failed to engage with this public properly. We applied for our first application and it ended up, as most waste to energy applications did, in the bin after 3 years and a hell of a lot of expense. We took a different route the next time round, which was to engage. We did the talking, like events today. We did a lot more though. We did the listening. We did the education. Because with the advent of the World Wide Web, the audience knows more than the people standing up promoting, because most waste companies are not technology companies. They are delivering a service and fall foul of understanding. We did a hell of a lot of this, and very little of that. So we weren't lecturing with people, but that added time. Our planning process only took 15 months, start to finish. Awards. Sorry? Yeah, 15 months, award. But it started 2 years before that. So planning infrastructure will take time. Delivery can happen, community buy-in does happen if industry takes the time. But that means for us, we've had a core team that have been there for 10 years over the 2 applications. That doesn't always happen, and waste companies need to realise that getting into the community is vitally important. So expand on the services you've got, on the know-how, the knowledge and the contacts. The bin man is probably your best salesman. He knows his community. What we did differently though is we formed a social responsibility committee. the biggest concern the public had was, would it operate, would it be clean, would it deliver what you say it will deliver in planning, or is this just something to get you through planning? So we formed a committee that are responsible for that. They have power involved in design and operation. And I'll read you the articles of the company, the community company, as it's set up. The purpose of the Social Responsibility Committee is to scrutinise the implementation and management of Peterborough Renewable Energy's environmental management systems, to oversee PRAL's compliance with applicable environmental and health and safety legislation, to assure independent evaluation of the company's environmental and health and safety performances, and to support and advise PRAL's community cohesion. So they have an active role in what we do. If they choose to forget about it over the next 3 years, well, that's the community's choice. But they can be involved at every single stage. And then we've got the carrot. I'm not a fan of carrots for the same reason that we talked about. Is people believe you have to then do it because you paid. And the good reason to do it sometimes disappears. However, we recognise there was a need for a community fund. That is, we are putting something that is perceived to be difficult in an area. They should benefit from that. And my important message here is, it has to be big enough to make a difference. Major power stations, waste or normal, giving £20,000 a year for shirt sponsorship of a local community is not major. It does not make a difference. It needs to be a sizable amount of money or investment in other projects locally for the community to see the benefit. So we can lay blame at planning, policy, government. It's a part. Actually, the industry needs to do more to engage with the public. That's it.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris, very much indeed. And I'm delighted to say that